Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Howard B-Ducks, and welcome back to another test video. It's just a quick video to test the white balance and all the custom settings that I have on this Canon EOS R5C here, which is a cinema camera. It can record in 8K, even though I'm only ever going to use it to record 4K60 in like really long increments, because, well, apparently no other Canon can do that, including this, which is not going to focus on unless I zoom in. This what is this? Wait, can I actually see what it is? Should say on the front, right? Oh yeah, EOS R6 Mark II. This is a $3,000 camera without a lens, I think, for the most part, and well, it's very good. But the problem with it is, noticing anything? Well, there's no vents. And these cameras are extremely inefficient, which means that oh, I turned it on. This camera cannot record for more than about 20 minutes at 4K60. It can do other things just fine, just not 4K60, which is, of course, all I want to do. So it's been a huge journey trying to find something that can do what I need and not be annoying doing it. And it turns out, well, since this thing can't, I decided to go one step further. And, well, what's the better version of this camera? It's the R5. But the R5 has the same issue. It overheats because it has no fan. What's the only fan in this camera line that doesn't overheat because it does have a fan? It's the $3,500 R5C, which we now have, and I will now use, because it has a stinking fan, and that's exactly what it needs to have for me to be able to use it, because I need to be able to record 4K60 in versatile environments, walking around, and I don't want to use my phone. And it turns out that's a lot to ask. So, well, we have a camera that does everything we need. The only thing it doesn't do, the only two things that it doesn't do are record PCM in a simple stereo track. For some reason, it'll only record two separate mono tracks with PCM, or it'll do the stereo thing, one stereo track, so I can upload it to YouTube, except it would only do AAC in that mode, which is really stupid. I don't know why they did that. They have an options menu for it. They could have just put in a thing where you just didn't need to have to either use AAC or to have to plug it into an editor to do any kind of PCM stuff. So that's kind of stupid, but whatever. I'm willing to live with it. What I'm also willing to, I think, live with is the fact that, well, this camera, it's pretty auto. It has a lot of auto functionality. This doesn't. This R5C has some auto functionality, like it'll adjust some of the settings, which, if you don't know, your phone does a crap ton of processing to your image to make it acceptable to your eyes and to other people's eyes. But, you know, these cameras can only do so much, and even though this camera has way more power in it than this does, like, to wit, this runs out of battery easily twice as slow as that does in its main mode. And, well, it's just because this has an additional chip to do a whole bunch of extra processing. It's literally just like a sidecar to the Digic X, but anyway. It has to do a lot of processing to make the image look reasonable. Like removing a whole bunch of noise, which iPhone cameras still have a crap ton of noise. That's just because the lenses aren't very good. You can get additional lenses to let more light in, and then it will work better, but it's still an iPhone, and you still don't have a lot of options with that. But that would be fine if the image was acceptable to me for use in my videos. But it isn't, and neither is the audio. Come on, Apple, 128 kilobit AAC? That's not very reasonable. For comparison, that's what the iPod Nano 5th gen shot at. You know, the only iPod Nano with like a camera in it. It was this crappy little 480p thing that shot 2.5 megabit video. Yeah, that existed, and that also shot at 128 kilobit per second AAC audio. And my iPhone 12 Pro does the same thing. So that's really stupid. But I think in the newer ones, forgive me if I'm wrong, actually, please comment if you know this, but the new iPhone 16s, they actually shoot like Dolby Atmos or whatever. I don't even know if it's Dolby Atmos. It would be really freaking sick if it was Dolby Atmos, but again, it wouldn't really be Dolby Atmos because you have to do so much stuff. There's entire studios devoted to developing and rendering like a video, the Dolby Atmos track for movies and TV shows. Like, that's just not a thing you can just pull out your phone and do. Like, that's not a thing. But you could technically do it, just like you could technically add Dolby Vision to your iPhone, like mine has. But it'll only go so far, and it'll definitely come up way short if it does that. The only thing that would do that's good, however, in terms of what I need, is it would probably increase the audio bitrate, because having 128 kilobit audio is painful in any circumstance. That's actually what YouTube used to use for its audio tracks before Opus became ubiquitous with it. Opus, for those who don't know, is a way better audio codec, way more efficient, way better, and way better sounding, and the files are way smaller for how good they sound. And so a 128 kilobit Opus file sounds excellent. It sounds about as good as a 320 kilobit AAC audio file, so that should give you some comparison. And they still use 128 kilobit AAC in some applications, and if you have really good headphones or really good speakers, you can really tell the audio is crap. And what sucks about this camera, though, in its AAC mode, is it'll only do 256 kilobit per second audio, which is a far cry from the CD quality audio of the PCM mode. So I'm going to use the PCM mode as much as I can, but I'll also use the AAC mode if I need to, like if I'm just uploading a quick video or making a short or something from Pepper Productions. I'll generally use the AAC mode because, well, it'll allow me to upload the video without it sounding like garbage. Of course, the PCM mode sounds a little bit better because that's, you know, raw audio like a CD is. But whatever. I'm also having to use an external microphone for this, so if this sounds kind of bad, well, I might actually be able to do something about that because, you know, I'm going to stop fiddling with this because this is going back and I don't want to break it. So I'm going to put it down on a soft surface. Anyway, I'm using an external microphone with this. It's just a Canon stereo external, like it's kind of a boom microphone, but not really. I think it actually technically is. Sorry, not a boom, a shotgun microphone. Those two can mean the same thing, but they realistically don't. So if I'm speaking over here versus over here, they should sound like coming from two sides, because that's, you know, a stereo mic. It's not a mono mic. The built-in microphone of this camera is mono, and it's trash. And you should never, ever, ever try to use it. It sounds trash even in the PCM mode. It just sounds really, really, really muffled. And like just super, super echoey, like it's not even pointing towards its subject. And actually, this sounds like that too. A lot of the time, I'll be filming with the camera, and I'll be super, super audible and very clear in terms of the audio portion. But then I put it on a stand like this, or in this case, it's on a garbage can, and it sounds like balls. And I don't know why. It sounds way better than the internal microphone, so I'm willing to live with it. But it's weird that when I'm filming with it, like actually holding the camera and I'm talking, it sounds way better than having it actually point at me, like it is right now. So that's weird. This I'm also shooting 4K60 and never overheat because it has a fan. It's also a really weird smelling fan. Like the exhaust vent, like I could actually feel air coming out of it right now, and it's pretty, it's slightly warm air, which is good. That means it's actually doing its job. It's actually cooling the processors inside of this machine. This is a machine now. It's an actual machine to do what I do now, such as a camera. So, okay, it is just a camera, but you know what I mean. It's now a piece of machinery to me. It's no longer a magical device like a phone or whatever. That there's a whole bunch of magic. No, this is a machine now. It needs maintenance. So, maybe that's exactly what I needed. So my videos will get a lot better. I was actually looking at the microphone instead of the lens, the camera lens, because like the microphone's pointing at me, so it looks kind of the same. It looks like a tiny lens. But anyway, so yeah, this camera's very weird. It also has like 2 different firmwares, it feels like, because the photo mode looks like, because this can still definitely shoot photos. It's still a camera, like a point and shoot camera, except it's a DSLR, and just way better. It can shoot photos, but it looks, the operating system that it runs in photo mode looks a lot like any Canon camera that, like any Canon EOS R series camera, like the R6 Mark II here, and like the R10 and the R50. They all have like the same OS, and in photo mode, this behaves like that, just, you know, with extra options, different options, better options, and better quality, of course, and more control over your photos. But in video mode, it turns into a completely different beast. I might do an in-depth video with this camera in the future. In fact, I probably will, because I have a different camera I could actually film that video with instead of using this camera, because if I'm looking at a camera in the video, it can't be the camera I'm reviewing, because I wouldn't be able to point the camera at the camera if I'm using it, if that makes sense. So, I have another camera. It's the Lumix S5 II by Panasonic that has audio issues, so it's really only useful as a stationary camera, or a portable camera if I'm using an external lav mic. But I've basically designated that camera, the Panasonic one, to stay on its stand. I'm gonna put this down again because I'm gonna break it. So I've designated the Lumix to stay on a stand plugged into the wall where it can just film indefinitely, because that again has a fan. It just costs the third of this, like a third of the cost of this camera, which is kind of depressing, because that has a fan and works perfectly except for the audio issue, and the EOS R6 didn't, so that's kind of down. But anyway, maybe it's because that has a crop sensor and this one and these two don't, because apparently making a full frame 4K60 camera is actually really hard for video. But anyway, I can't remember what else I was going to say. Oh yeah, also, the first purchase I'm probably going to make from the money from this channel is probably going to be a 512 gig CF Express card. Now, compact flash is one of those technologies that's just ancient. It's like an ancient Chinese secret. Everyone used to use them, and they even and like in the mid 2000s. Like I'll actually show you a camera that needs one. This is one of my dad's old cameras. This is an EOS Rebel XT. Actually, I should probably try zooming in so you can see this. This is a Canon Rebel XT. No, Canon EOS Digital Rebel XT. And, well, it has a quite newer lens than the camera on it, but it still works with this camera perfectly fine. And this camera does work. You can turn it on. Whoops. Still getting used to this. You can turn it on if the batteries are charged. Oh, yep, they're charged. And you can take a picture if the lens cap wasn't on. Oh. What the wiener. Why is it on a timer? I didn't do that. Alright, whatever. Let's take a picture. But where does it save it? Well, fellow viewer, it saves it on a compact flash card. Now, that's basically just like an SD card, but older. Much older. And so that is in here. And this is actually not exactly a compact flash card. My god. This is so awkward filming this. This is actually, you might be able to tell, a little tiny hard drive. This is off in the weeds, obviously, like this video isn't really about this, but I just wanted to show this. This is a little tiny hard drive in a compact flash form factor. So the compact flash cards are flash memory, not a hard drive, but this is what's called a micro drive, and it's basically the exact same form factor, just a little bit thicker, I think. But yeah, so I'm going to put that back in the camera. If I can figure out how to do it. There we go. Right, let me put that on a soft surface as well. So, yeah. It's been quite the journey trying to find a camera that works to do what I do. And, well, if anything else comes up, I will definitely make it known. My mom sent me a message for the electronics flea market. She's getting really excited about it because she thinks I'll get excited about it. But I've actually been going to the thing for like a year, so not sure why she's telling me. I appreciate it anyway. But anyway, so yeah, this is the Canon EOS R5C that I'm filming with, and this is probably going to film all of the stuff for Pepper and Pepper Productions except for the weird other videos that I do on there. It's probably going to be filming all of the handheld footage for this channel and Demonized Soundtracks. This is going to be the versatile camera, and I'm going to have to learn how to use all the special functions of it because, well, the auto functions don't really work very well. I mean, they probably work for most use cases, but I like to have the best footage I can, and to do that I need to figure out all the different custom functions that this has. So I'll be doing that. So if the videos that are coming out are a bit worse and then they get a little bit better, well, that's why, because I'm still learning how to use cameras like this, because this is a cinema camera. This is a camera someone would use to make TV shows and stuff, not like YouTube videos. I mean, whatever Linus Tech Tips wants you to believe. But anyway, this has been Alred Redux. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next live stream, short, or video, whatever that may be. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your evening. I'm just going to upload this as is, no editing.